Hey Dee, I'm gonna miss your silly responses to my Bitmojis each morning. You sure know how to make me laugh. I love it. Thanks for your amazing sermons, your leadership in Bible study, your friendship, and your listening ear. You know, my most memorable Sunday was your sermon when you talked about the Wailing Wall and how you put your hands on it and you had that holy, powerful moment. I really envy you that experience. Dee, I could go on, but as you know, I'm giving your official send-off speech on June 5th, revealing all. I'm surprised you're okay with that, as you know how mischievous I can be. Don't be scared. I'll be gentle. Feel the love, Dee. Godspeed to you and Eric.
Pastor Dee always inspired us to keep going. This was not only on Sunday mornings, but almost any time she was with us. She was upbeat about our mission to spread the love of Jesus. She encouraged us to continue our Thursday morning Bible study group. We usually bought individual books authored by Reverend Adam Hamilton. Our recent study of his book, The Ten Commandments, was so appreciated. When my husband died, Pastor Dee met with me and my son Carl to plan the funeral. This was very comforting. Another plus was her husband Eric, who seemed to be there when we needed his help in any way. We will remember her for her enthusiasm.
Hi, Pastor Dee. This is Don Black from Christ United Methodist Church. And I just wanted to tell you how much we appreciated having you being one of our pastors here over the past few years. I really appreciated the fact that you came up to Alpine Center and did a sermon for us every now and then. Your approach was usually a little different from the regular approach or the scripture. And I enjoyed your walk and talk routine. What I really liked about you was when you helped us with the Bible study and the book study classes, especially during the pandemic when we went on Zoom and we were able to talk and see each other, and it really made me stick to the Bible and study it more than otherwise I would normally have done. I also liked the fact that when I saw you out in the outdoors, that you were so kind and considerate when you did things like the blessings of the animals or the blessings of the bicycles or the fall bash or something like that. You seemed to really care and really work with the people that were there. So God bless you, and I wish you good luck in your new location, and we'll keep remembering you.
Well, Dee, I wanted to tell you how much I've enjoyed when you and Jane and TK transfer churches to do different sermons. I've gotten to know you through sermons, and I've enjoyed your style. It's unique and very inspiring many times. I've also gotten to know you working with you as a nurse, parish nurse, and I've also probably mostly gotten to know you through the leadership team. This has been a rough few years with the pandemic, and also the whole last year of deciding whether to close our masters. And I think you've done everything with grace and poise. I want to give a shout out to Eric, because I think he's a tremendous soulmate for you and a big help. I'm not sure I could ever be a pastor's wife, but you've done a very good job of supporting Dee, and I'm glad that you'll have a shorter commute to your work once you move to Kirkland. Good luck in your new position, and we'll miss you.
Dee is an excellent preacher and worship leader. I have known her best as a teacher. She has led many classes, which means she had many preparations. She has extensive knowledge, but I think she does a lot of work to get there. Her faith is strong, and she shows the experience of one called to be a pastor. She cares for people and they feel it.
So thank you, Dee, for all that you've given to Christ United Methodist Church and to me personally. You really impressed me when you first arrived and greeted me by name in the parking lot when we hadn't even met yet. So I really appreciate your effort to get to know people here. And also, shortly after you came, a few years after you arrived, you organized a work day at church. And this was an adult work day where we polished and cleaned and did all kinds of things around the church. And so I appreciated it because the church was shinier and brighter, and the windows were clean, and the pews were all polished. But more than that, what it did was give us a chance to get to know our work partners or our work team members better. And that was just as important as the jobs we did around the church. And related to this, you and Eric organized the adult work camp, you might say, around the community, and that was it got the church into the community, and I thought that was a great thing for the people who express their faith through their hands and the work that they do. And I also liked the Bible studies that you did for the leadership team, especially as we struggled with the closing of our masters and just how to go about that and whether to do it or not. And I think the Bible studies you led really helped to ground us in a place where we should have been in those discussions. And I participated in quite a few of your book studies over the years, and thought you always chose interesting books to do. And my favorites, I think, were some recent ones: Taste and See. Too bad we couldn't have a potluck along with it, and Almost Christmas, last Advent. And also, I appreciate your sermons. Sometimes we heard you down at our Masters, and sometimes at Alpine Center, and you were so upbeat, and yet often gave us reminders that we also should care about and do justice in our communities. So you have brought a lot to Christ United Methodist, and I know you'll take a lot and take all of your talents to Kirkland also. Thanks again, Dee.
Hey there, Dee and Eric. Dee, it has been been such a privilege to have had you as one of our pastors. Your wonderful, passionate sermons always leave us feeling so energized when we leave. Besides being inspiring, we think you're a heck of a lot of fun.
And Eric, it was great fun with the guys, girls, and guitars that we did, and it's always exciting when somebody asks me about your artistry in building this beautiful walnut bar that you did for us. We so appreciate your craftsmanship and capability with that.
And Pierce and I will miss both of you. We are so grateful to have had you both in our lives. And who knows, Kirkland isn't that far away. We just might surprise you some Sunday and stop in for a service. Best wishes and much love to both of you.
Love you. See you guys.
Oh, Dee, I can't believe you're leaving after all these years of serving together. You have brought so much to the ministries of Christ United Methodist Church. We love your preaching, the passion, your cleverness, the examples that you bring out from daily life that make the gospel alive for us. You are so inspired, and we've loved learning more about Jesus and growing in our faith because of you. And then there's the creativity. There is just your ideas that none of the rest of us thought of. When we realized that some of the committees weren't as aware of our preschool, you were the one who came up with the idea of having our different committees tour the preschool and meet Debbie and learn more about that important ministry among us. When it was COVID and we couldn't be together physically, you're the one who came up with midday meditation and then midweek meditation with Pastor D, and offered opportunities for quiet and prayer and reflection in various ways that meant so much to people when they were feeling isolated. You're the one who asked the question out of the blue, what if we do this? What about that? Has anyone thought of that? You know that at times I've wanted to strangle you for that. And yet you've put up with me when that's what I was being, because you've had such good ideas over the years, and you've moved us ahead as a congregation over and over again. And then there are the things that are a little less deep. I love it that when we go to lunch, you're as eager for your Coke as I am for my Diet Coke. Caffeine addicts unite. I love it when you give us updates on your dachshunds and things going on in your family life. You care about people and you talk about them respectfully, always though with a great sense of humor. I will miss our lunches. I will miss your coming up with great ideas for book studies, for sermons. I will miss being office buddies at the south end of the Grace Building. But I'm so excited for you, Dee, as you go on to Kirkland. They will be so blessed by all the gifts you bring and by even more that comes out of you while you're serving that congregation. Thank you for all that you have offered to the congregation here, to the staff, and thank you very much for all you've offered to me. God bless you.
There have been many wonderful testimonials about Pastor D. Some of them were very nice, but I think people need to hear the truth. There are many things no one knows about Pastor D, and I'm here to set the record straight. Not too long after I first met Pastor D, she did something that I thought was totally shocking. I noticed that often when Pastor D brushed her teeth, she would do something I couldn't believe. Pastor D squeezed the toothpaste from the middle of the tube. Everyone thinks Pastor D is awesome, but what kind of person does this? The horror continues. A few years ago, we were at the Target store. and Pastor D put her cart back in the wrong spot. There was a corral for small carts, but Pastor D put her cart in the spot for large carts. She's a monster. Last week, when we were coming to church, Pastor D made a left turn without using her turn signal. This is something the good people of Kirkland should know. But that's not all. The other day, we were in the grocery store. After we put all of our groceries on the belt, Pastor D didn't put the divider down. Throughout Walmart, you could hear the audible gasp. People were shocked. I know all of these things are terrible, but the worst thing was this.
Hey, anybody using this room?
Turn off that light. Turn off that light. What the f*** are you trying to get someone killed? Turn that light off.
Like I was trying to say, Pastor D is wonderful. There was this other time when D rescued a puppy from a burning building. In my book, she's a hero. Congratulations, Pastor D. Us anonymous people in the congregation will miss you.